channel. I'm Olivia Gold. I'm a marketer, brand strategist, and a fashion and beauty connoisseur. So on this channel, you get a bit of everything. You get a bit of marketing and career insight, but also we get to dive into my closet, what I'm shopping, what I'm buying. Over the last few weeks, I've been consistent. We thank God for that. And I've been just giving you a lot of life of a marketing girl updates based on myself, learnings that I have been experiencing, and sharing it with you guys. Reach my goals, to chase my goals and continue to pursue them. And there's a lot of things that have come up for me, and I've realized certain things, and I wanted to share that. I think we're in a day where we're chasing so much, we're going after so much, which is great, but then it doesn't really allow time for reflection to understand, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing things? Am I, following someone else? Am I going on my own path? And at times you have to get the lesson over and over again till you learn it. I've experienced that deeply. But hey, it happened to me, so I can help you. I'm here for my marketing girls that are chasing their careers. We're not excluding the guys, but of course I have to team of girls. I'm wearing pink today, so hey, cute, right? 5 tips you're gonna journey to be better in your career and make sure you're on the right path and chasing the right thing. So the first thing that came to mind that I wanted to share is always stay committed to being a student of the game, a student of your craft. I myself, this year, I went in a course in January for 5 days. I was off-site in Surrey, which is far out East London in the suburbs. Sorry, far out South London in the suburbs. 9 till 6, we were all in a room and we were going over strategies, tasks, brainstorming, group exercises, presentations, and it was so good. When I was packing to go away, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't be bothered. I got other things to do. But I was so excited in the back of my mind because I knew exactly what I'm going to get out of it. And the reason I say that is because I think over time, when you grow in your career, sometimes you expect yourself to be at a certain stage, at a certain level, which you are deserving of. There's so many factors that come into play. You only a certain amount of roles. There's only a certain amount of leadership titles. There's only so much, but that doesn't stop in terms of what you should do and how you should build your craft. I remember 2022 into 2023 when I was having that weird career moment where I didn't like what I was doing. I was in this job and I was sitting there and I was just like, is this it? And I was in my ego for a bit because I thought, I've been in the game for 10 years. I've done my 10,000 hours. I should be here. I should be here. But then really, when I came out of that and I reflected, I'm like, who said that? In Portia's world, if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, who said that? Of course, more hours you put, the better you'll be, but that doesn't mean you ever have to stop. So by me sitting there and thinking, oh, I've done my 10,000 hours, I should be here. Says who? Like, you're always learning. If you're CMO, CEO, marketing manager, marketing assistant, we are all students of the game, because in our craft, in most people's crafts, you're here to serve, you're here to add value, and to constantly add value, you always have to have something that is valuable. And the only way you can do that is if you're a student of the game, seeking opportunities, finding the gaps, understanding what consumers are thinking about, and being customer obsessed. The customer of 10 years ago is not the same customer of today. So who am I to think, I know it all, so I should be here? That's not how life works. I think moving in that humble state of being a student of the game and having that hunger, having that drive, and having that passion. Of course, life goes in ebbs and flows, so you might not always have that rigorous passion all the time, but I think always have in the back of your mind that, am I being a student? And ask yourself, what am I learning here? So when you go to that role when you're a marketing assistant and you want to be a senior marketing manager or marketing manager, however the ranks go, think about, what am I supposed to learn here? What am I supposed to equip myself? That's why in a couple videos ago I said, don't be too attached to the role, to the job title. Be attached to your mission, because that is so much more valuable than your title and what your salary is. Like, being attached to the mission will give you direction and clarity in terms of what you should be learning, what you should be seeking for, what work you should be working on, the standard that you should be executing your work. It's so much more filling, valuable, and it will take you to places that in the short term tactical things are gonna do. First point is always be a student of the game, be a student of your craft, help you consider your why and why you're chasing your career goal you want to be, and make sure it's reflective of what you want and not what someone else wants. Of course, you can be inspired by so many. There's a few black women that I've seen in my lifetime, super senior at Fortune 500 companies in the marketing space and still live out their dream. And of course, I'm inspired by them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to emulate their career. I'm crafting my own, and my journey is going to be different to theirs. But for me to stay where I'm at now, am I learning what I'm supposed to be learning? What gaps am I supposed to be closing? I know this area, if not, how can I get involved so I can learn that? That's what I've been doing. That's what I've reflected on. I went on a course, been in the industry for 10 years. I'm still learning, and sometimes it's nice to refresh your memory of the things you did know, because then you can even think about it in a different way, because you have more wisdom, you have more insight, you have more experience. Again, you really are sharpening your value. I do not ever feel like you know enough. Feel like you don't know enough, and continue to learn, because it will put you in rooms, it will take you to places that you never thought. So starting off with a real humble one, because I think sometimes we need that reminder. Number 2, establish your niche. I say this, I think I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. The industry's changing, it's moving faster, innovation is happening faster than ever before. Honing in the area that you can grasp and add value is really honing in on your niche. So do you want to be a specialist in that sector? Is an area in marketing that you want to delve into? Do you want to be a social media expert for luxury fashion brands? Do you want to be a personalization expert for e-commerce brands? Really hone in on what your expertise is, because then it helps you zone in on the area of value that you have to offer. Of the game, you're clear in what you're learning, what you're chasing, what scope of area that you cover can also give you leverage over competition in the market. So when you're going to an interview and they're like, why you can actually come forward, show your portfolio and explain your areas of expertise, instead of saying, you know, I've done this for 10 years, so I really have a passion, so do so many other people. But what's your area of expertise that you can give that others can't? And that's what sets you apart. Specifically today in saturated markets, jobs are hard to come across. So you may have opportunity to freelance or contract, and that's your way in. And what would be your way in? What value are you offering to those companies, to a client if you're going out on your own? It's all about finding your niche. And something that I had to look at when I had my career funk, let's call it that. And I was just like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm just a generalist floating around. I've done campaign management, I've done live stream, e-commerce, I've dabbled this, dabbled that, but what's my area? Where do I want to define? And I had to take a step back. I did. And that's why I feel like, Olivia, be a student of the game and use this phase of your career to a different industry, establish yourself as an expert in that industry, and then you will define your niche and have a nice subset of skills to offer when you do decide to step out on your own, or you do want to consult for people. You know exactly who to go to because you know where your skills lie. And I was just like, that's what it is. I've looked and seen so many people's careers and they've moved, but it's just like, you don't know why they move. You don't know what their agenda is. You don't know what they're chasing. And it just makes what your niche is, because then you'll know exactly where you're going. And that will lead on to another point that I'm going to come on to, about establish relationship with peers and friends who are in positions that you want to be in. The reason I say this, it could be in your job, it could be your group of friends, it could be friends of friends. For example, for me in my workplace, I've established someone that is a level higher than me, I get along with, and I've asked them to be my mentor. And what that looks like is I put in a call with them once a month, because everyone's busy, and I use that time to ask them any question that I want. How do you cover this area? How do you deal with budgets? How do you put together a business plan? How I ask them all the questions that I can think of, and ask them to send me, you know, like documents to help me. I ask them to see previous examples of their work so I can read it, learn it, understand it, and then just ask questions to how to navigate these sorts of conversations. And it's great because new levels require new expertise, and you want to make sure you're equipped. You've already got insight into what that looks like. So, and that can happen in a job, but it doesn't have to be in a job. You can reach out to someone on LinkedIn that you really like their profile, ask them. If they say no, do not take it personally. But I think this is more about you and less about them. Ask your friends, and sometimes it doesn't have to be someone exactly in your industry. It could be someone that's super skilled in something, and it could be a business owner. You like the way they delegate, or come there achieving such high revenue. What are they doing? Being inquisitive. You know when kids just ask you why? childlike seeking mindset, and you just want to be a big sponge and soak it all up, because once it's in you, honey, like no one can take that from you. So when you go into different rooms, whether you change jobs, you move countries, that stays with you. And that is a great price. You can put a price on it. You can put a competitive price on it and sell it. And that is your business. You are your business. I feel like it's more about carrying yourself as a business. Do you think businesses are competitive because they sit in the same market? You want to be like that in your career. So just really think about how you want to build relationships with people in positions higher, positions that maybe inspire you, positions that are of interest to you. And it might not be in, you know, marketing, it might be in sales, it might be in business development, it might be in tech. There's so many areas that are so interesting because there's transferable skills. There was an article that came out in Self Fashion a couple of months ago. CMOs are becoming CEOs, and a lot of CEOs are either CMOs or CTOs. And I think that's so interesting because it just shows you the power of certain skill sets, agility that is out there in the world. Like you could be a CMO, but then that can make you be a CEO, not because you have the exact skill set, but the transferable skills that the business need, you have it. And for me, that's just a reminder that be open-minded, make sure you're learning from others, put together path, really lean in and look at people that are successful in your eyes, that have added value that you don't have yet, and build relationships with them. Reach out to them. Don't be afraid to ask for a coach, ask for a mentor, because this is all about yourself that's going to be developing. And for me, that's something I realized in my career, but you don't know where you're going because you haven't been there before, if that makes sense. You need to see it. Sometimes if you don't see it, you're not going to believe it. It lends itself to when you're trying to learn and soak up information and get the right insight and understand what happens in those rooms, in those big meetings. How do they close the deal? Did they get this partner? All of these situations have an access, and that's all about networking. And again, it doesn't mean you have to network up. It's important to network across. You'll be surprised maybe in your 5 friends that you list the skill sets that they have that you don't have and that you can lean into and learn. It's as simple as that. I have a friend who works in the same industry as me, but we're in different categories. But I always ask her questions because there's so much stuff that she knows that I don't, and vice versa, offering value to each other. I have to be as organized, like I said, in my job, where I've actually asked someone in the business, and that's because there's certain elements in the business that I don't know yet, and I want to make sure I'm equipping myself and upskilling myself. So to do that, I've made the effort to reach out and ask someone. But it doesn't have to be there. It could be in your friend group. Like I said, I message my friend and I ask questions. We have the internet. You can reach out to so many people. It doesn't matter how many followers they have. If you see value, it's important to lean into that because you are the one that's going to reap the benefits off of it. So I encourage you, people, do not be shy. Go out there, go forth and ask for what you're looking for. Is network. And that is being proactive in terms of how you want to show up in the world. We're in 2024. We came out of a pandemic 2 years ago. It's been a bit of event fatigue where there hasn't been that many, but I think it's important that you go out there, proactively seek events. There's always events online to attend. There's always seminars out there. You just have to go out and look. And everyone's used to promoting so much that it falls in your lap. It's so important to be intentional about what you're looking for, where you want to be when you think about how am I going to be successful this year? How am I going to take it up a notch? How am I just going to push the boundaries? How am I going to be better? What does that look like? It's all on you, to be honest. The resources are out there. We just have to find them. And I think because of social media, it's opened the doors for us. But again, sometimes you have to filter through the noise to find the gem that you're looking for. And that's why networking is key. Maybe once a month, you're like, do you know what? Go to an event by myself. I'm gonna meet someone and I'm just gonna talk and say hi. You don't know who you can make a relationship with. For example, I was lucky enough to go to the Beyonce UK premiere of the Renaissance film, which was amazing, by the way. And after the film, we were all walking out and there was just a group of us talking. Like, I knew some, but I didn't know others. And as I was walking, I was talking to someone that I didn't know, and we were talking about how amazing it was, how it's inspired us. I didn't know her. So then we're going back and forth relating, literally regurgitating the same thing to each other. And I'm just like, hey girl, what's your name? What do you do? Like, we were just talking, because we were talking about how important to see women in power, and see even Beyonce had to push to be believed, and she's the boss here, and we're in our jobs and sometimes you have to fight, but it's reassuring to know that we're not alone, that this happens, it's the reality, but we need to believe in our power and stand strong in that. And we were saying the same thing, and I was just like, girl, where do you work? Like, what's your story? And she told me where she works. She works at a huge social company, hint hint hint. She's a senior leader, and I'm talking about my role and what I'm doing, and it's just like, girl, we need to talk. And we exchanged numbers, we went out to eat just before Christmas. So lovely to have that relationship and have that conversation, have that introduction to a relationship, because there was so much we related about, so much to talk about, interest, but again, we were able to offer value to each other, talk about, okay, I've had that experience before, this is how I've gone about it. And just by going to that one event, I've established a new relationship and connection. How valuable is that? And I was just like, do you know what, Olivia? Go to an event, go by yourself, meet someone, because learning, and that's the beauty of journey. It's not about landing the big job, the big money, and like, haha, kiki on a boat. Of course, that is the dream. Don't get it twisted. But you always want to enjoy the journey on the way, so it just feels much more worth it and so much more fulfilling. I want to encourage you guys to network, and just not network from a case of being an opportunist. I want to be clear on that. This can be seen as a negative and a positive thing. It's all about perspective, but seeking the value to learn from others, but also share something with them too. It's not just go out there and suck information out of people. Specifically, if you're networking across, it's all about a value exchange and building wholesome relationships that you can add value into. So I hope that makes sense and I didn't go off on too much of a tangent. It is what it is. I said today is a bit of a chit chat one. Number 5 is, this is the most important one. And I say this because, child, I was not a good student of this point, but when I figured it out, 30 plus, it feels more freeing and it makes so much sense. It's so funny. The things we need to do sometimes are the easiest things, but it feels like the hardest thing. And I don't know what that is, and maybe that's a whole psychology situation that needs to be studied. Maybe it's because there's no instant gratification that you receive from it, but when you get over that and you're just in the season and in the mindset of doing, it feels much better. One, to make, you know, being a student of your craft, establishing your niche, so you're honing in on your craft, establish relationship with peers and friends so you can actually learn and lead into areas of expertise that you don't have, and as well as networking to establish relationships, offer value to them, and also get something back in return to help you grow in your career. Streamline your focus of what you want to accomplish. Like, remember, direction is better than speed. And it's all about the 1% of every day, because over time, that is the compound effect to get to the 100%. Use me as an example because I've been learning this. So this is why I wanted to share it. Is a couple years ago when I launched Life of a Marketing Girl, I created a whole new page and it was just like a natural involvement. And then I had Olivia Gold, a blogger. I was blogging fashion and beauty content, and I separated it. Then I wanted to launch an agency. I thought I wanted to go into PR, and then wanted to be on the boards and do public and I'm not saying these are not achievable, that's not what I'm saying, just hear me out. So many things I wanted to do, but where was my focus? What was I focusing on? How was I able to be consistent? Because I didn't have a clear direction, and there's just no point starting something just to start something. I think there is power in focusing on something, honing in on it, and think of it as a tree. A tree grows up. One big, I don't know what that is, the body of the tree, right? One big tree goes up and then branches come off. And you have to see your career as that, and think about what is the one thing that you're growing and you're becoming an expert in, and you're building your niche and you're climbing a ladder, or you're building your business and you're building clients. Then you can branch off are the couple things that you want to focus on? Write a list and it's 10, that's fine. But it's important that you pick what are the most critical 3. If I don't do these 3 things, I'm not going to accomplish anything this year. I'm not going to move the needle on anything this year. And me, I'm so clear on that as well. Is that I know for me, one of my priorities is to focus on my job, upskill myself, and share that on Life of a Marketing Girl YouTube platform and all the other platforms. That's it. If I'm doing anything else, I'm not moving the needle. And that's just it. So I'm sharing with you my 3 priorities of 2024, and that's key. Tomorrow, start an agency. It's not my focus. It could be a focus maybe in 2 years, in 5 years, in whatever, but that's not the focus of today. And it feels so much lighter knowing that what my focuses are, because then I'm able to plan my time. I can be more productive because I know what I'm trying to push. I know my direction. I know the events that I see, which ones I want to go to, because it's answering one of these 3. To be very disciplined and decisive about it. So much noise out there. You may watch something, you may see someone doing something. You're like, well, I want to do that. And you go, no, wait. Is it my focus areas for 2024? If it's not, then why are we doing it? You can change, you can reassess it. Maybe you have every 3 months, every 6 months, you look back and assess, is this what I should be doing? Does it feel right? Does it feel good? Is it aligning to my goals? Is it aligned to the direction I want to go in? Because sometimes you might do something and then realize it's not for you. That's great. Fail fast. Try it, do it, it's not working, go back, switch, change up the game. It's your life, you are the master. Have that direction, you have to have that discernment to understand that. And that comes over time, in yourself, understanding what you want to do, being clear on what you want to do. And have to take this time to say that. As we go into the year, as we finish up Q1, mid-February, so we're still in like year 1. So at this point, we're still good. I really wanted to highlight these points because when I look back and when I was in my career funk, I think I was confused. There was a lot of noise. I didn't feel fulfilled. I wasn't being a student of the game. I wasn't seeking anything. I was just there existing. And I just felt bored. There was a lot of fatigue. Changed up. I was like, do you know what? Scrap everything right now. Let me just take time to sit back and exist and just be. Live, as I said, experience personal highs, like getting married. It's coming back to career and the goals I want to chase. What does that look like? So pen and paper, write it down. Does it make sense? You do it, I feel more confident, I feel better. You're not looking at anyone else, like, you know, it's your race, it's your journey, it's your marathon. That's what it's about, because you're building your life and you want to do it at your pace that makes sense for you. And to do that, you need to have a clear mind, you need to have clarity, you need to have direction. And over time, the more you get used to it and the more you're in tune with it, you'll be faster, you'll probably get there quicker, you'll be an expert in it, advise others, even branch out and do other things. What I really wanted to share, because that's what I have realized. And I was like, there's no better time than to tell you guys now, to make sure you guys are equipped with how you're going to reach your goals in 2024, how you're going to upskill yourself as marketers in 2024, how you're going to live the best life as Life of a Marketing Girls in 2024. 5 tips that have really honed in and helped me seek better direction, strategy, at peace with your journey and how you evolve over time. Again, it's all about being 1% better every day. So no pressure. Sometimes won't be always the best days, but as long as you put in 1% towards your goal, you're on your way. And that's it. You guys really enjoyed this spiel of my 5 tips to help you guys accomplish your goals in 2024, achieve your marketing goals in 2024, and just live a better Life of a Marketing Girl life on the journey. I hope you guys don't feel alone. To send in questions, if there's any questions that you want me to ask. I have stories for days, worked everywhere, done everything. So I have a lot. So there'll be a lot of stories coming your way in 2024 on my channel. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.